How's it going, guys? It has been a while. I've been waiting on mini parts, and I finally sold a couple things, so parts are on their way. Most notably today, what we're going to get started on finishing, is the suspension for the front of the black car. So I'd gone home on leave, and I finally found a supplier that had snap rings that were about the right size. So these, you can't find them in OEM anymore, they're discontinued. Kind of stuck with just searching for the size, the inner diameter. I actually found them at a hydraulic parts shop for tractors and semis and all that. So finally have stuff to get this done, get those wheel hubs mounted on. We still have to cut off the inner race from the wheel bearing, which is stuck onto the wheel hub, or sorry, yeah, wheel hub. You guys see behind me, there's somebody returning to the channel. The great green turd, my very first Honda build, well, second Honda build, but first one that went well. The other one out because it was too far gone. But anyways, hopefully Shumar will be showing up sometime today so we can get some content rolling on that. I'm calling it the Disrespected CRX because I never finished it on the channel. And when I did finish it, I immediately sold the engine out of it to buy the K24 for this one back there. Boop, boop. So let's go ahead and get these snap rings in here. Get those races cut off. Also got a new GoPro for Christmas, so we're going to go ahead and give the chest cam a few more tries. Hopefully we won't have any more crotch shots. I'm going to try, no promises though. Next up, as you can see, the inner race from the wheel bearing is still stuck on to the hub. So, got my angle grinder. I'm going to extremely carefully cut a diagonal line right through here and then try to chisel it so it separates. Might wind up having to make 2 cuts or even 3, so that way it pops off in 3 sections, but we'll see how this works. Alright, let's try the audio out on this. The picture is definitely better than that little Chinese one I had. So hopefully the audio sounds good for you guys. So, as you can see, the snap ring is in there, retaining the wheel bearing, doing its job. The only thing that I'm going to do different than installing a snap ring as per usual, so I'm going to put a thin layer of anti-seize on it because I don't know if I included it in earlier content, but the snap rings were seized and I wound up having to cut them out, which is why it took so long to get this moving on the front of the car. Alright, so take your snap ring pliers. Alright, there we go. Wheel bearing is retained. Well, I just ruined that. Great. What's up, guys? It is a lot of days after the last recording. Which I apologize. I didn't quit. I've just been waiting on parts and I got some other things in the works going on right now. Big life changes and such. But luckily, finally, I got my strut mount bushings and my lower control arm bushings in. So, today we're going to be back on the press, pushing out the bushings for the rest of the video for the sort of suspension overhaul on the front of the CRX. The only thing I'm waiting on now is wheel hubs, so I can get those pressed in and then put the wheels on so I can move the car because I am moving. So it was in a couple recordings last week that I mentioned that I was looking to buy a house. That video is probably going to come out after this one. These videos are going to be all jumbled up, guys, because I've been waiting for parts so long that I forgot the order, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to get on with the rest of this video. Go ahead and press some bushings out, press some new bushings in, and see where we go. Those are experimenting around with one of these. As you can see, I got it out. So I wound up using a 24mm socket. I found out to use the deep well, not the short well, because the short well is actually about the perfect size just to stay in there and fit inside. So in the process of trying to push out my OEM bushing, I lost my 24mm socket in there and then had to go get this one to push the other socket up. So just stick with one of these and you'll be good. Under it, I am using a 36mm socket just so I have something flat to put under the arm while I'm using the press, so it doesn't try to press it up at a weird angle. So I got my whole rig set up here. I'm just going to take a little WD-40 to kind of spray it in there just to help things go along the way a bit easier. And you guys already know what to do. And there's the old one. Pretty simple job. If you don't have a press, it makes things a little bit harder. You can try to use the giant C-clamp around the sockets and like put an impact on the other side or something. But luckily I do have a press. So we're going to go ahead and use that. Alright, so those control arm bushings went pretty easily. The strut tower bushings, not so great. I have the pressure built up as far as I can, pretty much have this thing maxed out, and that strut bushing has not moved at all. So I'm just going to keep pressing at this, see if I can maybe get it to budge after it sits under pressure for long enough. I'll let you guys know an update if I get anything done. Right, so I think I finally arrived at a solution. I'm going to try to press or cut all the rubber out from the center of the bushing, so that way we're just left with that outer sleeve of metal. I don't know if you could call it a race or not. And then I am going to use the air saw to try to cut the sleeve off, and then I'm going to chisel it out, see if it works. Alright, well, I almost just killed myself with the press. Sent that flying towards my face. Anyways, you guys know the do by about this point in the video. I'm going to go ahead, press those hubs in, and then we're going to have a complete spindle with new everything. And I also got a hacksaw from Harbor Freight to hopefully try to get out those lower control arm bushings. And hopefully that works. I saw it online. That's really the only thing I can do now, short of buying another control arm, which I really don't want to do. But back to the video. That has taken months, and I'm so happy to finally have it done. Anyways, now next up is this. So the outer piece of metal still stuck in there. I tried to chisel it, Dremel it, all that jazz, to no avail. So I saw a tip online. I guess this happens fairly often with 30-year-old cars. Now, on some hacksaws, you can take the saw off the blade off the end of the handle, and then feed the blade through, and then reconnect it to the handle on the other side, so you can saw through the middle of where the bushing would go. So that is what I'm going to try. I'm going to go get my Harbor Freight hacksaw right now, and then strap that bad boy in the vise, get some music going, and I'll bring you guys with me on the GoPro. So hacksaw did work. I thought I got through almost all the way on that side, but you can see I didn't, just about eighth of the way. That side, however, I did get all the way through. I was able to, there it is, pry. I was able to pry the edge away with the chisel right here, just enough to get a screwdriver in there. That was a little bit thinner that actually separated it from this race. I did cut into this quite a bit, which is really unfortunate, to be honest. Since there's not like a bearing going in here, I think I might just pack it with extra grease and send it. Probably not the best thing to do, but I'll clean it up with some thousand grit, some wet sandpaper, and get it all cleaned up. But I'm gonna get started on the next one because that was a lot of work. And then finally, we'll get to press the polyurethane bushings in, get everything looking nice, and actually start to get the front suspension installed back on the car, which is going to be wild because this thing's been looking like a spaceship for probably 4 or 5 months now. So be able to get on the ground to get the car leveled out. Alright, so everything is cleared out and we got the polyurethane bushings going back in. This is how Energy Suspension suggests that their Prothane or polyurethane bits be put in. I did try it with a press and I had zero luck. Everything just kept on squishing sideways and every other which way. I actually had a lot more success this way. So pretty much you put your wrench here and then your ratcheting wrench here, and then you tighten it and it compresses everything. So I'm gonna hit on the GoPro and get this knocked out so I can go eat dinner. Alright, next up is the lower bar joint. I'm honestly just going to set it in there and then whack it with a hammer into the socket a whole bunch of times. Don't recommend it, but I'm going to do it anyways. Alright, now that's all left is to insert the snap ring right around the edge. So just put your snap ring pliers into it, expand, and drop it in. Well, it's supposed to be that easy. It's not. I can confidently say I never want to work on the suspension of this car again. Suspension. Probably going to pay somebody to do it next time because I don't want to. But there it is. I want to thank everybody that stuck around to watch these videos coming out now, because I know it has been months. Not trying to drop off content, but parts take time to get delivered and things take time to install because the little tiny things that are supposed to be super easy are never very easy. Life happens. All that good stuff. But I'm not giving up on this one on YouTube just yet. Still might. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.